a director of Center for Science and Environment, and somebody who's been fighting on the issue of the environment, fighting for clean air, clean water for decades now, Sunita. And in fact, during my time as an environment reporter, I've seen these issues actually go from, not even being considered in the news to a top headline. We started the show talking about the achievements during this lockdown. And if we focus on, the clean air that we're seeing and the clean water, what do you think needs to be done by authorities and by each of us to maintain it?
Very good question, Gargi. I mean, as you very correctly said, this is an amazing time. I mean, we have seen such dramatic difference in air quality. Not so much in water pollution, but definitely in air quality. And what it tells us is the following. One, this has come at enormous cost. I mean, the lockdown is not the solution. We cannot talk about having clean air by prolonging a lockdown. So we need to have clean air after the lockdown is lifted. And that's the question that we need to answer, that what did we learn? What can we do differently? So what have we learned? One, we have definitely learned that the worst problem with pollution, air pollution, is vehicles. And the second is combustion from industry. If you look at it today, life has come to a halt. And we have no vehicles on the road. And Gargi, you will remember, we've had huge problems with the automobile industry constantly trying to negate the role of vehicles when it comes to air pollution. I think that debate is now over. So let's be very clear that to get clean air in the future, we will have to make sure that two things are done. One, that we can move people and not vehicles, which means augment public transport, do everything that you were just talking about in the earlier segment with Mr. Munjal, and plus. But do it at scale. The problem that we have learned with this lockdown is that disruption has been absolute, and that we need to think about the future so that we can also do it at scale. This little bit, one few buses here, a little bit of metro, one odd, one even, those games are not going to work anymore. So scaling up. And secondly, we need to get rid of dirty fuel for combustion, and we need to get in clean fuel for combustion. So I think, but the biggest message is we need to do it at scale.
Right. Sunita, Pranoy here. We work together on environmental projects and awareness, and you really have been a wonderful, inspirational lead for all of us. Are you a little bit hopeful or skeptical about whether we'll maintain this change? One good thing is that everybody has seen how beautiful it is to have a non-polluted and a clean environment. Even our rivers are better. Animals are out on the streets enjoying themselves much more. Won't that hit some corner of people's mind and say, we want that again? Let's not go back to cloudy skies where not without clouds, but you still don't really see a blue sky. And by the way, there's one potential, and this is unverified, it needs to be peer reviewed, but one potential paper which has been discussed in a press conference, that when you have a polluted environment, your ultraviolet rays don't reach the planes, and ultraviolet is bad for these viruses. So even for corona, to get rid of coronavirus, it's important to have a clean environment. But apart from that, people have witnessed a beautiful environment. Won't that have some effect?
No, absolutely. And Dr. Roy, I'll go further, a little further. I mean, not only have we seen it, and we have been able to breathe and see the clean skies and heard, I mean, the kind of pleasure that you can hear from birds. I mean, instead of the honking of the cars, it's like birds have taken over our lives. And I'm sure we're all thrilled with that, and we don't want to lose it. And that will make us more committed. But I think there are two more reasons. One, that if you look at it today, there is more and more data that shows that people are not going to hospitals, that hospital rates have come down dramatically. And this is because there isn't that kind of morbidity that is happening because of dirty air. So you are seeing the impact even with health. I mean, corona is the reason why people are going to hospital, but not for other reasons. And the third is that, let's be clear, this virus hits the lungs, which means that you will have a serious problem of comorbidity. Weaker the lungs, more compromised the lungs, more this virus will get to you. So it is even more critical, given the fact that we have got to live with this virus for some years, at least a year to come, if not more. We have to make sure that we reduce our exposure for dirty air, toxic air. So I think these three issues should really drive us, and I hope they will. So I am optimistic. I feel we do have an opportunity to fix both the climate problem and the air problem. And maybe,
all right.
Maybe.